Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this story comes from Newham in East London. This is a follow-up to a story that I covered in September of last year, the murder of Baptista Adjei. The schoolboy was stabbed on a bus by a 16-year-old who up until now has not been named. And this is very unusual. They've only just started to recently do this with the massive increase in teenage murders. They have named the killer as 16-year-old Marvin Dyer, and he has been found guilty today for the murder of Baptista, and he's been ordered to serve a minimum of 16 years before he will be eligible for parole. So he will be 32 years old when he comes out of prison. And for all the kids watching that, I hope that sinks into the reality. Just to see how young he actually is shocking. He could have done anything with his life. He could have been anything. And the common assumption with these sort of cases is that these kids are neglected, or their families are not in their lives, or they come from a bad upbringing. And in both of these children's lives, they wasn't. Their parents were there. They were supportive. So there was other underlying issues that created this, and mainly being social media. Marvin Dyer and another 16-year-old boy, who has only been named as Boy B, had previously appeared at court on the 11th of August, where following the trial they was convicted of his murder and also wounding of another schoolboy, and Boy B was found not guilty on all counts and was released. 2 to 3 weeks before the murder, the victims, Baptista Adjei, who was 15 years old, and his 15-year-old school friend, had become involved in an online disagreement in a Snapchat group chat with the defendants. They was only vaguely known to each other outside of the online forum, and they'd seen each other around the local area, Stratford. The interaction began as what they'd describe as banter, but eventually it turned ugly. The boys had begun to taunt each other, culminating in a brief online exchange. Dyer messaged Baptista saying, "If you've got no bodies on your blade, leave the group chat." Baptista replied, "Shut up, you'll be the first." The exchange between the victim and defendants ended up with Marvin threatening to be outside the victim's school waiting for him at 3:25 the following day. He was not waiting for him the following day outside of school. Several weeks later, on the day of the murder, the 10th of October 2019, Baptista and his 15-year-old school friend had took the bus towards Stratford. Officers investigating the murder reviewed CCTV footage captured aboard the bus and saw Marvin, who was then aged 16, board it at Stratford Broadway, and he calmly put a balaclava over his face while wearing a blue latex glove. As Baptista and his friend made their way down the stairs of the bus, they were caught completely unaware. He stabbed them both with a 10-inch combat knife. Dyer was seen to hold onto the rail in the attack that lasted just 9 seconds. He inflicted 2 fatal wounds to Baptista before turning his attention to Baptista's friend and inflicting further wounds to him. Baptista was stabbed twice in the chest, and the blade punctured his lung and heart. Not realising the severity of his injuries, he ran off, making it as far as the Stratford Centre, where the footage that we showed in the video a year ago emerged. Despite the efforts of medics, Baptista died from his injuries at the scene at 10 to 4 in the afternoon. Baptista's friend was stabbed once in the arm and also once in the leg. He was taken to an East London hospital by the London Ambulance Service, where he remained for a week following the incident. He has since made a full recovery, and a murder investigation was launched by Detective Chris Skoll of the Met Specialist Crime Command. Word of the murder spread quickly on social media and throughout the community, and on the 11th of October 2019, members of Marvin Dyer's own family had themselves heard the rumour. They confronted him and he admitted the attack on both victims. He was subsequently presented at Forest Gate Police Station by his mother, and this is the actual story angle that we released of his mother handing in her son. And this is another example, like I said, that these kids were not coming from bad upbringings. They were being raised by parents that loved them and wanted the best for them. On the 12th of October 2019, he was charged with Baptista's murder. grievous bodily harm with intent in relation to the second 15-year-old, and 2 counts of possession of an offensive weapon. He was remanded in custody and then was taken to trial. The detective in charge of the case, Suzanne Soren, said, "It's sad and very concerning that an extreme level of violence was used to resolve such a minor issue. Nothing more than name-calling. The sentence handed down today will not bring back Baptista, and his loved ones are trying to heal with the knowledge that justice has been served." Marvin Dyer's family's lives have also been changed forever, and the only comfort being that they did the right thing in holding him to account. In a victim impact statement, Baptista's mother said, "We can never get over Baptista's death, but we hope and pray that with time the constant pain will subside. Ours and Baptista's plans were always that he would finish school and move on to higher education, get married and have children, and his mother really wanted to be a grandmother. His dreams, together with mine, will never happen because this was taken away from us in such a cruel way." And there is another story that I'll be covering tomorrow that is so very similar, and it's Birmingham as well. And this being in Newham, it just goes to show that no matter where we are, there are arguments and issues that are escalating into things that they shouldn't be, mainly due to things like pride and peer pressure and social media enhancing this. So just definitely be aware of the sort of conversations and confrontations that you're getting yourself involved in. And I really want to hear what people have to say on this. Please pay your respects to Baptista in the comments. And please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And follow us online as well at Scarcity Studios. Peace.